Well, in case you've been MIA in Forza Horizon 4, there's a brand new McLaren that is currently obtainable by achieving 50% completion percentage in the summer season. How did I get there? Well, the weekly Forzathon, that's worth 15%. Daily challenges are all worth 1%, so you can do those. Everything I'm talking about here is solo, so the Showcase Remix, thankfully that's here in summer to give you extra percentage. The PR stunts are 6% a pop. Use my Mossler tune if you don't have it, it'll literally work for all of them. And then the monthly rivals is a no-brainer. You have to do that, it counts for the whole series. Online adventure, if you don't have online, obviously you can't do it. And also, it does take a little bit of time if you haven't done it before, but that is worth 18%. Online adventure is 18%. If you can't do that or don't want to do it though, just replace that with one of those single player races that I did not complete. What is the McLaren 600LT though? It is basically a racing version of the McLaren 570S. You're probably going to notice it looks almost identical to the 570S aside from the spoiler, and also you're going to see the exhaust setup is completely different. Different wheels. The wheels on this thing actually look like they might be the same as the McLaren Senna. I'm going to have to look at a little comparison to that, but they look very similar. This was my favorite custom design that I came across for the 600LT, but what does LT stand for? Well, think the McLaren F1 GTR. LT stands for long tail. If you know that car, you know how long that car was, and that's another difference from the 570S is that the car is simply longer than the 570S. Now, some people are going to say, oh, this isn't a new car in Forza Horizon 4, it's just a reskin, it's just another 570S, and they're not completely wrong, because yes, it is basically just a different version of the 570S, it's the race version. The thing is though, are you really going to look at it from a negative perspective? Me, I'm looking at it from the positive side of things. It's a beautiful McLaren, it's faster than the 570S, and it is unique in its own way, with the spoiler, with the exhaust setup. I went with the orange. Let me know what your favorite stock color for this thing was. I just thought with the interior trim being orange and the calipers being orange, that overall orange, and of course, yes, that is my favorite color, I thought it looked best on this 600LT. But this car does have the same V8 twin-turbo engine from the McLaren 570S, but the reason this car is better and more track-oriented is it has more horsepower, and it also has more torque, and it's lighter on top of that. So basically every aspect of this car is more race-oriented, and it just makes it a lot faster and more fun to drive. You're going to notice though there's no exhaust at the bottom of the car, it's just the diffusers. There's the exhaust though right behind the spoiler. So on the spoiler they actually had to use heat resistant material to make sure it doesn't melt or catch on fire or something like that. So that's a very interesting and unique feature that this 600LT has. I'm always tempted to almost say 570S because they are so similar. The taillights, the headlights, very similar design. The thing I did want to mention too, I almost forgot, you only can get this car until October 3rd in the summer season. So Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, you will no longer be able to just win this car for free. You're going to have to start hunting at the auction house, and I don't think people like to do that too much. So overall, you're going to see all of my thoughts and impressions of driving this thing and the performance of it right here. We take it out for a nice little cruise first, and then we go and race it against Unbeatable drive-avatars. So if you have any questions at all about this 600LT, how to unlock it, or how maybe to snipe it at the auction house, let me know down in the comments section. But hopefully everyone appreciates this new McLaren. It's a beautiful car, and it's very fun to drive in this game. So hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts and everything else that's on your minds in the comment section. I'm out. Wow, well, first impression of the orange color really does not look that good. It looks way better in the Forza Vista, and it's not the first time I've thought that. Cars in the Forza Vista have so much more detail, and the colors just shine a completely different way. But I gotta say, man, love the way the exhausts are on like the top of the car. Crazy that they actually designed it with a heat shield on the spoiler to make that work, but just seeing fire come out the roof of the car basically is pretty damn cool. I gotta say, man, this car is pretty nice. Now, stock performance we're looking at right here, and this car, honestly, I'd keep in the S1 class. It's stock S1 890. No reason to put it to S2 because I'm certainly not going to be someone who would all-wheel drive swap or motor swap. First 5 gears feel pretty good, especially 1 through 4. You feel power in all the gears. 5th starts to feel a little bit slower top end, and then 6th and 7 are just... they're like the gas mileage gears that some people will call them, at least. But really good grip for a rear-wheel drive car and excellent handling. Like, it feels like you're in full control the entire time. Now we're going to go race it against Unbeatable drivatars though and see how it does in bone stock form. Probably just going to top it out S1 at some point. Not going to do it today, but look at how slow 6th and 7th gear are. Man, you drop down to 5,000 RPMs, you just get barely any acceleration. The top speed of the car is about 200 miles per hour though, so considering that, as I get some trading paint skills like we needed this week, really nice car overall. Only downside, it needs a race transmission for sure. Really good sounds too, and love seeing that fire come out the top. This car is a track toy, and we are on unbeatable difficulty, so I picked a racetrack, a sprint race that I know pretty well, so hopefully I'll be able to push the car as hard as possible and see how this thing's going to do, but let's see how I do driving it. First time in racing conditions, we're in summer. Hopefully this is going to go well, hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Let's see what happens. That kind of has a really weird feel around certain turns. It's like got good oversteer, but then it seems to have some maybe mid-corner understeer or oversteer, something weird. It just doesn't feel smooth in transitioning. Feels pretty quick though against these other drivatars. Unbeatable, other track toys. It's feeling quick. Very smooth around that corner. This thing definitely has more top end than any of these other track toys. Will it have the grip and handling though? That is the question. So we're about to go into some of the turns. This is the big test part for the 600LT. Ooh yeah, a little bit understeer right there. That might have been just me driving. Steering a little bit too late though. There's a lot of driver error that can happen while you're racing too, so it's good to race a few times before you make a judgment call on a car. But compared to a 570S in this game, I think this thing's a clear cut, way better car. It is basically the race version of the 570S. Oh, I hear someone gaining on me. There he is. Gotta be careful here at the end. I think I got this in the bag, though. No one's going to catch me on the straightaway at the end of this race. The McLaren 600LT. Some people are going to say, oh, it's just another 570S. Come on, man. Just appreciate the beauty of this thing. Look at this car. There's not one angle of this car that doesn't look good. Pew, baby. First. Make sure you snag one of these. If you miss it, you're going to regret it. Just because you have a 570S or just because it's not a completely brand new car in the Forza, don't overlook it.